Hi guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very special guest with me. This is Gretchen. If you guys probably know, I feel like.
Hello everyone. I'm so nervous. I've never been on YouTube before.
We just filmed the funniest video on Gretchen's channel what do we want to call it? Reacting to our old videos?
Yeah. Painful.
We're both like OGs on YouTube. I hate to use that word, but like.
We really are.
2011, 2012
I
was
feel
a
like
rough time.
We meet like new people that just started YouTube and they're like, oh my gosh, I know you. Because they like remember us from a million years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were in that phase of YouTube, so it was all good. But I thought that it would be interesting to do just like a Q&A. I always do Q&As by myself, so I thought it would be fun to do a little advice.
I love this.
Yeah, I thought it would be fun.
Yeah.
So I asked you guys on my Instagram, so go follow if you don't follow at Brooke Miccio, Gretchen.
Go follow.
Go follow.
I love her Instagram stories. I reply to all of them.
I know you do. You're such a big
But
fan.
probably knows when she's posting and she's like, what's Gretchen gonna say to this one?
I feel like, oh, I love it.
Max is actually your biggest fan.
I love you guys so much. Stop.
Brooke.
I'm their biggest fan as a couple, so there's a lot of questions about that. We did a whole podcast too.
Oh yeah, plug. Go listen.
Go listen to Gretchen's podcast on like being single, being in a relationship, because a lot of these questions kind of correlate more with like that idea, I feel like.
Everyone loved that podcast.
Oh my
God, that was a good one.
Yay. Oh, that makes me
really
so
good.
happy. Okay, good. I guess we could just start off with this one. How did you guys meet? Because I feel like that's probably confusing too. We were just talking about it.
Yeah.
How did we meet? Social media back in the day?
It's so funny. Back in the day, I feel like you would just find other people that had channels too, and you would just like talk online.
Yeah.
But since it was such a private time, like we probably didn't even know each other's like last names at first.
Oh,
or,
absolutely not. Yeah, no, or you
we must have like DM'd or.
I feel like I remember you saying in a video I'm from like New York, and obviously New York is a huge freaking state. Like we're not from close at all, but I was like, oh my gosh, New York.
Yeah.
Like, a connection.
We're neighbors.
Yeah, she lives on the block. We followed each other on Twitter, I think, is what we said.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't even do Twitter anymore. I think the last time I posted was like 2012 when I started it. But my first memory is like following Brooke on Twitter. Or we must have DM'd on there. I want to go look back.
Oh my gosh.
Is that what it's called on Twitter? DM?
Yeah. I guess I could look back too. We should definitely find them.
I'm so scared.
And then, but we didn't like actually, I guess, meet up until we were both in college. But I feel like.
Was it college on Long Island?
Yeah, that was like freshman year. I think it was after freshman year of college.
Wait, that's so funny. Because I feel like we knew each other, but we just never met.
We did. But that was still like 5 years ago. I mean, that's still a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we officially met in person when we went out to dinner. We got sushi on Long Island.
With Mandy.
Yeah.
I remember your phone died. And I was texting you from Mandy's phone because I have Mandy's number in my phone as Mandy's cousin Gretchen. Like Gretchen's cousin Mandy or something.
Oh, that's really funny. Oh, it must have.
Why.
That's funny.
I still do.
I remember we got sushi. It was like in the summer. I think.
Yeah. It was like I was about to go back to school, I think.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
So that's when we officially met. And then we had Coachella, and then now we're neighbors.
Yeah, literally. What are the odds? There's a question here that was like, did you have like a wild stage in college? I feel like everybody has a little bit of a wild stage in college. Like,
oh yeah, you got to get it out, or it comes out after college, which you don't want that.
Yeah,
because then you have to be an adult.
And actually like do things.
I seriously think that's a thing, because people that don't get out all their like drinking and craziness and just like trying it out in college, they do it afterwards.
Definitely.
And it's like you kind of need that just to like get it out of your system. I mean, maybe some people don't, but you know,
I feel
because
like
then you learn like,
time.
oh, drinking this much every day like makes me feel so hungover and terrible the next day. I don't want to always feel like that. And you learn the hard way.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Some of us are still learning, but me too. It's fine.
But as you get older, the hangovers get worse. And it's like a 2-day hangover. And
oh yeah.
You get out of bed at 4:30 p.m. and you're like, I hate this. I feel like a grandma. Yep.
Like Uber Eats, food, like can't leave your bed. You're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Yeah, it's just not even worth it. Tips on loving yourself, being okay, or being okay, being single. So many questions about that to me, and honestly, like I just don't know any different. So that's why I just like live for me. I try not to place, this is like a new thing I'm trying this year, is like I'm trying not to place my validation or like, wow, I look good today in like the words of other people. You know what I mean? Like if I post a picture, I'm like, wow, I'm posting this because I think I look good, not because I want like the comments on it to like gas me up or something.
Wait, I love that. That's so good.
Yeah.
Because you have to put like your opinion of yourself higher than anyone else's.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot of that.
I feel like you always say like you have to love yourself before somebody else comes along, so
you gotta love yourself before you can love anybody else. I'll say it again for people in the back.
Oh, I really like this because I thought that this was actually interesting. Did you ever think about transferring to a different college? I didn't think about like actually leaving, but I knew that I had to make a change, and that's when I studied abroad. So like I was like, I have to get out at least temporarily.
I feel like we both had unhappy times.
Yeah, when was your unhappy? I guess they were similar times.
By the end of my freshman year, just because with rowing and everything, and I was just like, I knew that I was miserable, and so I was like, should I transfer? And I remember talking about in videos being like, should I go to LA? Like, I feel like that's what everybody does on YouTube, and everyone in my comments was like, no, like, we like your videos because you're not there, and you're like actually relatable to us or whatever. And I just knew that I was unhappy, but then I realized it was rowing at BU that made me unhappy, not BU itself. And I was lucky that once I quit, I like still liked BU and taking lessons. So
I remember you said something to me like when we hung out the first time. You're like, oh, I wish I'd looked at other schools, basically.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't just limit my college search for schools that had lightweight rowing, I'm sure I would have ended up in the South because I love warm weather, and like I wouldn't have been here otherwise. But since I was here from rowing, I just stayed here because I liked it. I feel like I would have ended up literally like Georgia or somewhere.
Yeah. What are the, that
imagine we like went to school together. Yeah.
I think it's very normal to like not have periods of time that you're unhappy in college. I feel like people don't talk about that much. They'll be like, I don't know how to describe it.
I agree. It's very like glamorized.
Everyone
like, version of college.
I made the best friends and I'm having the best time, but it's like normal that after your freshman year, if you're like, wait, I don't know if I entirely love this. That's kind of, I was in a, it was more like this first semester sophomore year for me, but for some people it's their senior year, you know, it comes at different times.
Yeah, it depends. I feel like that's so easy for us two to look back, and we both loved our college experience, to be like, I'm like, always like, oh, I would start freshman year BU all over again if I could, like today. And I'm sure you would say that about Georgia. Oh, totally. But also it's easy for us to forget about all the hard times because we're just looking back and being like, oh, we loved our experience. Yes. Because like overall we did, but there were some days and periods of time that we were like really
challenging
unhappy.
Times. Yeah.
And everyone goes through that.
Yeah, I was just saying that to you, like how you look back, I look back now at times, I'm like, wow, I actually was like sad then. Yeah. But it takes you to reflect on it and to remember.
Might not even know why till later on. And and there's so much change. College is like a crazy time. There's so much change. Yeah. Like the people you surround yourself with is always changing. Your classes, your environment, like literally everything. Yourself changes so much in those 4 years that like,
I like that. Yeah, I would say like, my advice is like to stick it out if you can a little bit, because I think things do get better, and I feel like people don't give themselves enough time to adjust before transferring, and it's like it could have maybe gotten better. Yeah, you know, don't be impulsive with it, because like
some people transfer like 4 times and just bouncing around every semester,
and then you just can't get comfortable, and like it's hard. The adjustment is the hardest part. So
and I feel like everyone hates first semester freshman year, like everybody hates it. Yeah. And I didn't, but like Mandy was like, I need to get out of here, I hate it, and now she loves it. Like everybody feels weird at first because everyone's trying to figure it out. So I agree.
And just, it out. Uncomfortable. Yeah. A lot of people are just asking like general advice about virginity, which is a hot topic. I feel like
a very personal topic.
It is a really personal topic. Just like advice about like the stigma behind it, and like is there an age and stuff like that. Like a certain age, or
like when you're ready, or we forget the specific question, but some people make it this huge thing, and you're like, it doesn't need to be like that. And
that's the way that I look at it. I mean, personally, for my opinion, like I don't think that it has to be this one thing that it's like life or death, like your life depends on it to go the certain way. I think a lot of people place a really high emphasis on it, which I totally respect. I personally didn't see it that way, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And I think some people are like, it's like this really big event and it needs to be perfect. And then other people are like, it's just a part of life.
Exactly.
Right? You know?
And I think that for me, it was like, I just didn't see it as like this really big, like monumental event for me. But I think that varies person to person. I don't think that there's any particular like age. I think if I could tell my younger self something, it would be like, I don't want to say like don't rush it, but there's no race, like there's no finish line, there's no like, it's okay, everybody goes at their own pace. There should be like no shame behind it if you're young or if you're old when it happens. Those are all relative times anyways.
I so agree. Yeah, because I feel like when you first start hearing about it and stuff in high school, I feel like I would be worried and be like, oh my gosh, everyone is like having sex, but I'm not. Yeah. And you feel like you're like so behind, you're like left out or whatever, and it's so not like that at all. It's like more just in your head. And Brooke is so right. Like there's no timeline. Whenever you're ready is when you're ready. And I just feel like it's something that's so personal and private. So
personal.
So it's like everyone's gonna have their own opinions or own ideas about how it should be, and I think everyone's like entitled to that. And if you're really religious and you're waiting till marriage, good for you. And if you're not, good for you. Like, that's how I see it.
Yeah, I think you need to form your own opinion on it, obviously, and like try not to let others persuade you in like one direction, like that need one direction.
Like, no, you do you, sister.
It does need to be a very personal thing. Yeah, so I don't know, that's my opinion.
And I think when you're ready, you like know you're ready.
I would agree with that. And
if you're not ready, don't do it.
Yeah, if you're ever
ready,
like in a questioning state, like, and you're like, I gotta get it done now, like, you're good.
No
yeah. I would just tell myself that there's no rush and it's all gonna be okay anyways, and like
it's so funny, I've never talked about that.
Yeah, it's a very sensitive subject.
But everyone always asks about it.
So many questions about adult friendship and like making friends post-grad, which I think is so challenging.
We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah, because the thing is with your friends from like college and even high school, like they know so much about you and like when you were younger and like your family, and in adult life you're just starting over, so it's definitely challenging.
Like if I meet Brooke out tonight and she's talking about Sal and I'm like, who's that? And you're like, how do you not know that I have a brother? You know, like it's really weird when you're meeting people as an adult. People up. And yeah, there's like so much time that they missed of your life. You have to like catch them back up. It's weird.
It is weird. So I would say that it's definitely hard, and I mean, friends of friends is a good way to meet people.
Yeah. I feel like the best advice for making friends like after college, because it's so tough because you're not just like around in like a social scene all the time, is like you have to be the one putting yourself out there and like trying. And I feel like the friends of friends is so good. Or like it may seem weird, but you just have to be really forward and just be like, we should hang out sometime, like wanna get coffee, or like come watch The Bachelor with me, or like whatever it is.
And like invite them over, invite yourself over, or whatever it is. Yeah. How do you get over a boy being mean and ghosting you? Well, I feel like if they're being mean, I mean, that's the key word there, is that they, I mean, I've learned just not to tolerate the BS because,
I feel like you just learn the hard way throughout experiences with boys. And I feel like everyone just has like this beautiful picture of like romance in their head. And then you deal with guys and you're like, why is this happening? And it's like, you just have to realize you only want to be with someone that wants to be with you anyway. So if they're being mean and not liking you, I think I said this in a video recently and everyone was like, wow, Gretchen's just like being really harsh, but that's just like how it is. If a boy likes you, you're gonna know that he likes you. And so if he doesn't, I'm sorry, but it's not meant to be. It's not worth your time, and it's time to move on.
No, I get that. I mean, I would tell myself this too, like if you're the one doing all the reaching out, like most of the communication, stuff like that, like then, I mean, that's a red flag in and of itself. And honestly, I mean, I haven't found that person yet, but you'll find somebody that wants to be that person for you and actually answer your texts and like answer you and like maybe even reach out first. Like, I mean, dang, they exist, obviously.
And it'll be easy and it'll be how it's supposed to be.
Look at that.
Promise.
Girl says, like, I know you guys both love YouTube, but have you ever felt pressure to post because of like a particular reason? And I think, for a variety of reasons, I would say. Not even just like monetary reasons, but I think that once you kind of open the window of your life, a lot of like expectations come along with that. Posting expectations, I would say, like sharing expectations. So I've felt pressured to show certain parts or like post more or whatever, even if I'm having a bad day. I've done that. I don't know if you've had to do that.
Yeah, definitely. I was telling Brooke, like sometimes I'm sure people get pressured when they have a video with like a brand or something like that they know needs to happen. But I feel like in my situation, those videos almost are more exciting to me because it's brands that like I love so much and that I want to work with. And I have like put even more effort and like thought into this video, so I'm so much more excited for it. But I feel like the times when it gets hard and you feel pressured to film is if you just like haven't in a while, or we were saying if you feel like you need a break or something. But I feel like I'm letting myself down or letting you guys down if I haven't posted in a week, because I'm like, they're gonna be upset or be like, where are you? But it's like, here I am just trying to like work on myself, and even though I'm having a bad day, I want to film. So it's like,
that's always like, it's hard.
Balance.
I would say for vlogging in general, it's hard when you're having a bad day and you kind of, not that you have to fake it, but like you could even be honest and say I'm having a bad day, but what do you want to do, be crying in every clip and like sad? Like that's,
I've definitely struggled with that. Like there's been videos where I like cry the whole time, and
it's hard because you're such like a happy, I feel like both of us are relatively you're so positive, but it's hard when you're like, your message is all about like spreading joy and like doing what you love and stuff, and then
I was like, I'm gonna be honest, today is like the worst day. And I'm just like crying all day. So I feel like it's definitely tough.
In waves, I would say. But I mean, I've definitely felt that too, because you sign up to basically like, you sign up to work with brands beforehand, and then like the video will come around and be like, oh, this week I have to film this, but like let's just say like the crap hits the fan this week and it's like a horrible week or something, like the show must go on. So I felt it in both ways, I think. But more so like the letting people down, because if we take a week off, it's like, is she okay? Like,
yeah, I don't want to like upset people, or I feel like I just like upset myself if I'm not liking my content, or if I haven't been posting a lot, and I'm like, I have all these ideas and stuff that I do want to do, but like X, Y, and Z is getting in the way right now, and I'm just like frustrated with myself, kind of thing.
I get that.
I feel like that's mostly what it is.
Like self-doubt, kind of.
Yeah. And just like stuff going on in your personal life, and you just like let it take over all your time, and you're like, okay, I can't even like make this cool video that I've been wanting to do.
It's so true. Yeah. I would say that's the thing about YouTube, is that the lines between like personal life and YouTube cross heavily.
Yeah, it's so hard to keep it separate, or even like schedule out your work day, and because it's like, oh, I could go to the Soul Cycle class, but like really I should be, but then when am I going to do the podcast if I'm doing this now, you know? It's just hard to figure it all out.
You kind of gotta,
because you have to be really
strict with yourself.
And like self-policing, I guess. Yeah,
it's definitely not the easiest, but you gotta push through and do it. Well, this one, I mean, now I guess we could pivot and talk like a little bit about happiness, but I feel like we talk about it all the time. Gretchen's like one of the happiest people I know, I feel like, so you're so good about it too. I feel like I leave hanging out with Gretchen in a happy mood, etc. But you're both so happy. Please explain the roots of your happiness. Like, is there something that you do to be like, you know what, like I'm being positive today? I guess that's a good question.
I feel like me and Arlen were talking about this. Yeah. In our really deep manifestation.
The second one? I need to listen to the second one.
We like get really
dive
deep
into it. Yeah.
It's basically him just like explaining it all to me, and I'm like learning. I'm like, wow. But he talks about how, I feel like this is very like general, like everybody does this, but in the morning if you write it down or think about it or whatever, just like all these things you're grateful for. I don't know if he says it out loud or if he writes it down or whatever. But I feel like I do that all the time, or if I'm ever feeling like sad or like I'm like missing something, I'm like, okay, no, like think of all these things that I wanted like this many years ago that I now have, like I'm so grateful. Or not to get like really deep, but if you think about like other people that don't have what you have right now, that wish they had what you had.
Completely.
Or like if you have like lost someone in your life or something that's close to you, it's like that's even more reason to just like describe it, like be your best self. Completely. And like live your best life, and like live every day to the fullest, right? I
like that. Yeah, no, I try to do that too, because I'll be like stressed. Let's just say like I get like a bad email or something, or like freaking hate comments, whatever it may be, and then I'm so stressed and I like work myself into such a state of stress, and like I have to like count my blessings and be like, what can I do right now? I could call my mom, I could call a friend, I could, you know what I mean? Like there's so many, I don't know, like there's so many reasons to be thankful versus like,
I agree. If you like catch yourself in that position, you can like go back to square one and be like, okay, let me like dial it back in and like figure out why I'm so grateful right now. I just always think of that, like why I'm grateful. Or in situations where you're upset or mad at someone, I always think like when something bad happens, I like make myself think, why am I thankful for the situation? Like say you like aren't friends with someone anymore, it's like I'm thankful that I learned like so much, and I know
I like that.
I always do that kind of thing.
Why am I not like friends with this? Why is this person not in my life?
And
like that.
When you're like mad and stuff, you're like, oh, I'm not happy, I'm mad, like I'm not thankful for anything, but like think about what it's taught you or how it's gonna.
That's good.
Like, I always do that kind of thing.
Yeah, I would say just generally speaking, I feel like you're just like a positive person that like you just wake up like and you're like optimistic, I guess. And like that's just kind of who you are, I guess. Yeah. Because obviously you know those people too that are like, they'll find the bad thing in everything. Like you'll go and take a workout class and be like, I didn't like this section of the class or whatever. It's like, okay.
It's like the world again.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well I actually enjoyed it. Or you go to dinner with someone, they have like a criticism of like the restaurant, like it's way too loud in here. It's like, that was the best dinner I've ever had. Like, why does it have to be that way? So I think just generally being thankful and optimistic. Yeah. I like that, Gretchen. Great tips. But I think we're gonna wrap up the video here because I feel like we answered a good bit of juicy questions. New topics.
Got a little deep.
Yeah, I guess it did. But thank you guys so much for watching. Go watch our video we did on Gretchen's channel, I guess. Subscribe if you guys are new here, and I'll talk to you all in another video. Bye.